Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening. When are you doing this? Who knows? Perfect. Oh, look, it's all working. Well, hello and welcome to some yoga with Janelle. I am indeed Janelle, and this is my yoga studio. It's a little home studio. Just enjoying these times at home with things a little bit closed, so making it work. So I hope you're making it work as well. Feel free to roll out your mat, create a little space, maybe move the kids' toys out of the way. Who knows what you gotta do? Maybe you've gone garden crazy. Whatever it is. Let's do a little yoga this morning. Today is Happy Hips Day. There we go. I created a schedule of different classes just because I know people like variety. And whenever I've asked someone, hey, what kind of yoga do you want? Or what can we focus on in class today? People always say hips. And so I thought I would just make a class that specializes in hip mobility, function, movement, flexibility, all of those good words. So that is what Tuesdays and Thursdays are about. So last time we checked, it's Thursday today. Maybe the schedule also helps me stay in track of what day of the week it is, because it's different every day. And so that's nice too. So welcome, join on in. If you're rewatching, thanks for the rewatch and maybe participating along, getting a little movement in your day. You need to grab a coffee or tea. Here's a little cheers to you. We can wake up this morning together. So good. Oh, that is delicious. Shout out to Karina for hooking me up with some awesome tea. If you have never drank tea in your life before, leave me a comment. I'll connect you with Karina. She will find you probably the perfect tea for you. And she's a bit of a wizard like that. So kudos to that. All right, let's set that down. I feel like I should say cheers or sociables or something like that, but it's the morning journal. Come on. All right, let's start. You can start seated, you can start laying down, you can start sitting on a stool or a little chair. Whatever it is, you can start to sense into the body. So taking some time here, let's roll those shoulders back and down. So wherever you're at, even if you're laying down, feel how there the heart even just lifted. There's a little more space for the lungs to expand, and we can take a bigger breath in. So let's do that. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, let it out. Feeling good. Let's scan through your own body. See how you're feeling this morning. How are you doing? Getting into the physical side of things. Do you got some areas that are tight? Do you notice any areas of healing? My ribs feeling a little better this morning. Yesterday was rough. The day before was even worse. So we're doing a little better there. And just starting to notice within. Not often do we take time to actually check in with ourselves. And so I think this is a huge part of our practice, not only from an alignment standpoint, because then the more you can feel yourself, the more you can adjust and correct and improve things like posture and your alignment. But it's also a very helpful skill to bring off of your mat and just to check in with you on everyday life. How are you actually doing? And taking a moment to just be like, oh, okay, I am, and then fill in the blank. Will help you become aware of maybe your emotions, maybe the physical side of things. You can start to hear those little whispers that the body is giving you. And so the body doesn't have to scream and yell so loud to get your attention. And same thing with the mind. So scanning through, feeling good, feeling bad, noticing it either way, not just embracing the good, but being aware of both sides of that coin. If you'd like to set an intention for class, go ahead and do so. Intention can be something as simple as like a little word or a phrase, a little encouragement, or maybe a goal that you're setting for your class. Maybe it's a little compassion for your body. Maybe it's strength and you want to really kind of build some of that up. Maybe it's stabilizing and you want to work on that, or flexibility, or who knows what it might be. Whatever it is, let it be yours and let it be good. Let it come from within yourself. And so Let's seal that in with a couple of nice big breaths. Take a nice big inhale. See if we can lengthen through the spine, sit up nice and tall, or lay with nice extension. And exhale, let it out. Beautiful. Let's take one more nice big inhale. And exhale, let's engage into that low back. So especially if you're laying down, press that low back in towards the mat, or just pull that belly button in if you're seated. Feel that bit of strength, and let's see if we can breathe into our abdomen, into our belly area, but not just the front. Let's think of the sides and the back of the body as well. So as you inhale, maybe you start with the lungs, but see if you can send it down a little further, starting to take a nice big breath in, starting to feel the abdomen puff out, and then see if you can breathe into your low back area as well, feeling that big engagement, huge inhale breath, and exhale, slowly let it all out. I was at my chiropractor's this week and I learned when I don't actually breathe into the posterior side of my body, the back side of my body, I focus so much on the lungs and filling the lungs and the rib cage expanding, and then breathing through the front part of my abdomen, that the sides and the back totally get forgotten, and I'm losing so much capacity because of that. So in working on gaining it back, let's take another big breath and really focus in on that back line of the body. See if you can breathe into that low back, and see if you can maybe not even move the ribs at all. Maybe even just put a hand on those low ribs, kind of on that stomach area. Take a big breath in. Let it out. See if you can just move the pinky finger, not any of the top fingers. So let's take a couple more of those breaths, just working with a little breath technique here. Inhaling and exhaling. One more, nice big inhale. Really breathe in nice and slow and as much as possible. I like to close my eyes too. This lets me kind of focus in on where that breath is going. Try to keep those shoulders relaxed and keep breathing. And let it out. So good. And come back to neutral, whatever that looks like for you. And if you're seated, let's roll on down onto the mat. If you're down there already, there you go. Just wait for us to catch up with you. So I'm going to start with my knees planted, feet pressing into the mat. Oh, usually because I get a good back crack there. I feel like it's so loud. You can probably hear it. So chin slightly tucked, spine pressing in. Feeling that connection of the low back pressing in. Take a nice big good morning stretch, reaching those arms up overhead. Maybe take a little yawn, take a nice big breath in, reach up nice and tall, and exhale. Just let the arms fall down. Take one more of those. Nice giant inhale, reaching oh so tall. If you want a little more, you can start to extend the legs nice and long. Maybe even pointing through the toes. Feeling all of that length. Maybe you really feel that arch through the spine. Really reach and exhale. Hug those knees in towards the chest. Feel how now that low back is definitely pressing in towards the mat. Take a little rock from side to side, nice little massage on that low back. Oh, that feels so good this morning. Beautiful. Starting nice and gentle. Let's tuck that right leg in. So find your stillness. Bring both arms around the right leg. Send the left leg nice and long. If that's uncomfortable for you, you can always bend the knee and plant the foot. That's a good alternative as well. Keep pulling that left or that right knee in towards the chest though. See if those arms and those shoulders can stay nice and relaxed. Just holding on with enough tension to keep that leg in place for you to feel maybe through the glute, maybe through the hip or the hip flexor. If you're noticing that right hip is really stiff, just try bringing a little touch of movement into it. Maybe a little rock side to side with that leg, maybe tiny little circles. Starting to wake up that connective tissue, working with all of those tendons, becoming aware of how that hip is feeling. We hold tons of stress and emotions in our hips. I know that sounds weird to say. You hold emotions in your hips. Like if you cry, that's emotion. You're sad or you're in pain. But how do we hold emotions? I don't know, mysteriously they get stored in our cells somehow, one of those great mysteries of life, but they can be measured. And just like when your shoulders get really tight and tense from stress, or if you start to clench your jaw, these are all reactions to different emotions. So keep hugging that right knee in, let it feel real good. Excellent. Let's start to let that knee open up, maybe just holding on with that right arm. Letting the knees start to fall open, getting a little external rotation. It's okay if the knee travels down closer towards the hip. It's really hard to keep the knee up super high as you start to open it up. So just let it fall open. Let it move where it needs to. Maybe you're holding on underneath, propping it up a little bit. Maybe you have a little block under there. Maybe you're just feeling gravity pull down on it. Whatever it is, let it feel good. Maybe you add just a touch of motion here too. Working on those inner thighs. Beautiful. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale. See if you can soften. Letting go a little more of that tension. Beautiful. Starting off super gentle today, but I think that's the fun of the Happy Hips class. We could make them a little bit harder, or we can make them a little gentler. There's lots of great variety here. Beautiful. So keep holding a couple more seconds here. One more nice big inhale. Nice full exhale. And start to hug that knee back in towards the chest. Give it one more nice big squeeze. And let's switch the hands behind the knee and send the foot up towards the ceiling. So you can be holding on to the leg here. Let's just kind of bring a little wave from side to side, keeping both shoulders and both hips still touching down into that. If you want to work your core a little bit more, you can get the same motion, but now we're going to engage those hip flexors and a little bit of that lower abdominals by letting go of the hand. So you're starting to use those hip flexors to move the leg from side to side. Maybe you feel this into your IT band a little bit, depending on how tight it is. I'm feeling it ever so slightly as I bring the leg across. Still trying to keep those hips down. So if you're rolling over onto that left hip a little bit, really push that right hip back down. Excellent. Let's come back to neutral. Extend that heel nice and long and tall, and let's lower down and bring back up. So we'll take 5 of these, lowering down, bring it back up. You don't have to go all the way down to the ground. You can just have it be little. Maybe you go halfway. Excellent. And all the way up, back up. Bring a bend to that knee. Hug it in nice and tight towards the chest. And let's switch legs, coming into the other side. So hugging that left knee in towards the body. Take a little moment. Give it a nice big squeeze. Maybe you feel that right hip. We've created some openness there. Maybe you're just sensing in. Feel what that right hip feels like. And if you want to extend nice and long through that right heel, toes can point up towards the ceiling. Get a little stretch on that front line of the body of that hip. Feels real good. And keep hugging that left knee in. Shoulders relaxed. Head nice and tall. It's really common to kind of float up more towards the top of the head. I'm obviously exaggerating it a bit here. But if you're looking back behind you, let's change the gaze. So you're looking up to the ceiling, to the clouds, wherever you're doing your yoga today. Gaze goes more upward. Beautiful. If you need to bring some motion into that left hip now, maybe you add a little rock from side to side or a couple little circles. This feels really good to just slowly work through that range of motion, increasing it, especially if it's first thing in the morning and you haven't done too much other movement to warm up the body. Our fascia, our connective tissue, the stuff that holds all our muscles kind of in place and connects them all together, it's what they call fuzzy. You get fascia fuzz first thing in the morning before you wake up. And the way to get rid of that little fuzz sensation is to stretch it out. So that good morning stretch is a great one. If you did one of those before actually getting out of bed, or if you're sitting on the edge of your bed before you actually get up and start your day, that's one easy way to get going. Doing a yoga class, also a great option for you. So starting to find A little movement there. Maybe you come into some stillness. Maybe you're starting to feel that openness through the left hip. Then let's start to draw that left knee open. So maybe you're holding on to it with just that left arm. Right arm just comes alongside the body. Knee falls open. Maybe your foot stays hovering. I prefer that. Otherwise, I feel like I'm twisting through my knee a little bit. Or if you can respect the knee, you can get the foot down. A little internal rotation through that hip. Ever so slightly. So the knee or the foot up gets you more external rotation. Foot down. A little more internal, making sure you're feeling that at the hip socket, not at the knee. Maybe you're feeling gravity. Just gently pull on that inner thigh, on those hip flexors. See if you can connect in with that breath. Let's take a nice giant inhale. See if you can press that low back in towards the mat. Really breathing in, filling the belly. Feeling that abdomen area so big, thinking with the sides of the body, and exhale nice and slow, letting it go. Beautiful. Oh, so good. Let's hold here for one more giant breath, breathing in, and exhale. Let it go. So good. Let's start to bring that right knee or that left knee back up. Give it a nice squeeze in, holding with both hands now. Bring your hands behind the knee, send the left foot up towards the ceiling. Maybe you feel that nice pull on the hamstring. So good. Let's start our little tick-tock motion, or left to right, and start to sense into that low back, keeping the hips totally planted on the ground. So even though we're moving the leg, we're not rolling up onto that right side. I feel like that's a little bit more common. If you want a little more through the core and through the hip flexors, let go of the leg. Just make it so that the leg is what's moving. You're using those lower abdominal muscles, hip flexors, staying nice and relaxed through those shoulders. Feeling the leg journey from side to side. Beautiful. Try not to lock the knee. Keep a gentle bend to that knee. So good. Couple more here. Back and forth. Back and forth. Excellent. All right, let's bring that knee back towards that center. Foot goes up towards the ceiling, and let's lower it down. Lowering down as much or as little as you want. Maybe keeping it at a hover. Coming back up. Feeling that nice engagement of the core. And what is your right glute doing? Is it squeezing to activate and help support? You might need that if those core muscles are a little bit unstable. Excellent. Lost count there, so I'm going to do one more. Bringing it up. Lowering it down. Bring it all the way up. Bend the knee. You can give it a nice squeeze in towards the body. Extend long through that crown of the head. Feel oh so nice and tall. So good. Send both legs nice and long. Feel that little rebound through that left hip. Bring those arms up overhead. Reach. Oh, so nice and tall. Let it feel really good. Exhale. Drop the hands, hug the knees in towards the chest, or you can reach on through the knees for the feet. And coming into that delightful happy baby or awkward adult, whatever you want to call it. Feeling that openness maybe through the hips. Maybe you find it a little bit easier, a little harder to pull the feet in towards the body. When I do these at the end of class, I find it really easy to really kind of pull my feet down. But at the beginning of class here, even after those little openers, just feeling the tightness. That's okay. All right, let's release the feet and make your way up to seated. So whether you want to rock and roll on that spine a little bit, you can take a couple down and ups, coming up to seated, rolling down. Or maybe you just roll onto your side and push your way up. Beautiful. Sitting cross-legged if you're able to, or extending your legs nice and long, or sitting up on a little stool or a block. A yoga block, or really any kind of block, is a great tool. So if you're sitting on your block, you are lifting your sits bones and your pelvis up a little higher, easier for the hips to open up, and maybe a little more gentle on the knees. And so, great option there. Let's inhale, lengthen, feel those sits bones pressing in. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale, lengthen, lift the heart. Exhale, soften, engage that core. Beautiful. Let's move with our arms a little bit. So let's inhale to reach up. Exhale to pull the hands down to heart center. Option is to look up, tip back, take a little back bend. Exhales, take a little bow, rounding through. You can exaggerate this motion as much as you want, almost like a seated cat-cow, or you can just move with the arms. So whatever feels best for you today. Maybe you want one of each, a little of both, however you want to mix it up. Excellent. Hands to heart, pressing in. Nice and strong. Activate into those arms. Really press those hands together. Make sure you're pressing into the tips of your fingers as well. Becoming aware of your fingers, not just the palms of your hands. Beautiful, nice and strong. Let's inhale. Reach it up. Interlace the hands, either coming to steeple, or if you like to flip the wrists, so the palms are facing up. That's some nice rotation on the shoulder. Let's tip it over towards one side. Keep reaching. Get nice and tall and long. Beautiful. Take a nice big inhale and lengthen. And find that tipping point where that hip wants to come up. Press it back in. Nice and strong through those legs. Let's come all the way back up and over towards the opposite side. Beautiful. Really reach those arms nice and long. Find that tipping point. Find that edge that you're working with. Take a nice big inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come on, back up. Let's go one more time, over towards the opposite side. Let's drop that bottom arm down. You can press into the hand. Hand can be nice and close to the body. You can start to walk those fingertips farther away and come down onto forearms. And whatever is feeling really good. For that side body, I like to add a little pulse in. Excellent, come all the way up. Reach up nice and tall, maybe interlace those fingers, tip over towards the other side, and drop that bottom arm down, and adjusting wherever you need to get the side bend that you want, that feels good. Maybe add that little pulse in. Maybe you keep reaching with that top arm. Beautiful, let's come all the way back up, reach it up nice and tall, hands to heart. Beautiful, let's switch the feet. Opposite foot in front or on top. Working with that non-dominant side. Playing around a little bit with that there. Excellent. I was sore on my knees, so. All right. There we go. Inhale, lengthen, lift that heart, sit nice and tall. Exhale, roll those shoulders back and down. Let's inhale the arms up just once here. Just reach up and hold nice and tall and strong. Let's exhale and twisting over to your preferred side. Doesn't matter, we'll do both. So as you exhale, slowly lower the arms down, pressing them in towards the ground to get nice and tall. So let's lengthen on this inhale breath here. And exhale, twisting a little deeper. Maybe you're pressing into your hands. You can adjust the hands maybe a little farther if that feels better. Say good morning to our garbage truck this morning. Thank you guys for still working, keeping our streets clean, our houses empty of garbage. Inhale, lengthen nice and tall. And exhale, release. Come on back towards center. Let's inhale, reach those arms up. And coming into the other side now. So start to twist, even with your arms up here, feeling that rotation through the spine. And exhale, slowly bring those arms down. Let's inhale, lengthen, nice and tall, pressing into those hands just to press your head up a little higher. And then press into those hands to twist a little deeper, taking that nice big exhale. Feeling that connection with the breath, with the body. Maybe you sneak a little sip of tea. Beautiful. One more exhale to bring us back. Roll those shoulders back and down. Excellent. So super warmed up, getting a bit of a stretch on. Let's come into a nice all fours position. So rolling over or adjusting however you might need to get there. Into hands and shoulder stack. I feel like I need to adjust my leggings. These ones Got a little loose, we'll say. Excellent. So hands and shoulders nicely inlined. Oh yeah, look at that sunburn. I don't know how white that is. Anyways, knees and hips aligned. I get distracted. It's just part of who I am. All right, inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Get nice and tall. And feel all that space on the shoulder blades. Maybe you drop the body down. Maybe you press the body back up. Just bring some awareness to those shoulders. I don't know what officially I have to call these, a little shoulder up and down. Think of your shoulders or your back as an elevator. So they're coming up to the top floor, lowering down, middle, and coming down towards the basement, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Come on back up and find somewhere neutral. Beautiful. Inhale, let's tip the head up, looking up, drop the belly down, make that nice big scoop through the low back. Exhale, tuck the chin round through the spine and press into those hands, send that elevator up nice and high. I like that. I think we'll keep that. Exhale, drop the belly down, start to look up, feel that bend through that low spine, press into those hands. Excellent. One more of each. Nice, angry cat. Beautiful. Drop the belly down. Finish it off with that angry cat. Find your neutral. Beautiful. Send those right toes back. And touching the toes down into the mat, rolling that right hip down. And connecting in with that. Extend the head nice and long. Long and strong. Pressing into those fingers. Making sure those fingers are nice and spread apart. Feeling into the edges of the fingers. Maybe you give them a little squeeze into your mat, activating into the hands a little more. So that it's not just right below your wrist, taking all of the load. Excellent. Let's lift that right foot up. Take a nice big exhale, pull that core in. Beautiful. Nice and strong. So let's bring knee towards right wrist. Send it back out nice and long. Let's see if you can bring knee towards left wrist, so journeying across the body. And send it back out nice and strong. And let's bring knee towards the right. Pulling towards that shoulder. That's our motion. We'll take 3 of those little sets. So knee towards right wrist. So long, extend that foot. Knee towards left wrist. Squeezing it in. Sending it nice and long. And knee out towards the right. Maybe even towards that right shoulder. Off to the side. So long. Last set. Knee to wrist. Knee to left wrist. And knee out towards the side. So good. Send it nice and long and hold here. Let's stabilize, pressing into that right hand. Maybe you just walk the left fingertips forward, still tenting and pressing into that hand. If you want a little more, you can bring that hand all the way off the ground. Tuck the chin. Really reach, oh so long. Back toes can be pointed, or you can flex through the foot. If that feels a little better. Beautiful. Keep holding here nice and strong. Then drop the head, drop the leg, take a nice little sway from side to side, or maybe you shake out your wrists. Let it feel nice and good. Beautiful. Let's come back to our stillness here. I'm just gonna angle a little bit as we get ready to come into our gate pose here. Then so send that right foot out towards that little 3 o'clock position. It's coming out towards the side and pressing down in towards the mat. Toes can be pointed forward or off at an angle, whatever works best for you. So press into those hands and coming up onto that left knee, patting that knee up however you might need to. Roll those shoulders back and down. Beautiful. Inhale, reach it up. Nice and tall. Remembering to smile, remembering to breathe. Where are you stabilizing from? Can you feel it through the knee, through that left foot, through the right foot? Nice and strong. Zip up those inner thighs. Tuck that pelvis over, that tailbone under. Reach nice and tall and step over towards the right, so towards that extended leg. Feeling that nice stretch across the left. Gaze goes up to roll that left shoulder back a little bit. Beautiful. Let's come on back up. Reach up nice and tall and exhale towards the left. So floating in the air a little bit. Feeling that core engage Nice and strong. Pull those low ribs in. Beautiful. Let's inhale, lengthen. Exhale, look up towards the right to roll that right shoulder back. Excellent. Come back up. Release the hands down on to the hips. Let's take one more of those times with hands on the hips, becoming aware of that. So let's tip over towards the right. Feel that lengthening through the left. Maybe that hand even floats up. Really feel that nice stretch. And coming across, right hand contract. Down, arm can go up if you want more through that shoulder. Excellent. Let's come on back up and towards the other side. So left hand pressing in towards the hip and feeling that through the right ribs, through the hip. And even if I touch them, I can really lengthen and then feel that through there. And hand can go up. Beautiful. Back towards neutral. And let's plant that left hand down into the ground. Reach that right hand up. So even if you need a block here or a book, find something, if you can't quite touch down to the ground, that works for you there. And then if you want a little more, let's work with some balance here, trying to float that right leg up. Beautiful. Squeezing those hip flexors, squeezing through those obliques, nice and strong. Let's reach that hand overhead, nice and tall and long, really reaching. Remembering to enjoy your yoga practice, remembering to breathe. Let's bring elbow towards knee for 5. Reach out for 4. And long for 3. Here we go. 2 more. 2. And last one. Reach nice and long. Bring the elbow to knee. Reach long, lift that foot. Beautiful, drop that foot down. And let's swing all the way up. Reach nice and tall. Exhale, let's plant the hands. Beautiful, bring that right knee in. Take a nice little sway from side to side. Notice the difference. Maybe there's no difference to notice, that's always possible. I hope there is, as we move in and stretch. All right, come to your stillness and send that left leg out to that 9 o'clock position. And press into those hands and come on up. Nice and tall. Get all the hair out of your face. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthen, pull those low ribs in. Pull that belly button in towards the spine. Exhale, roll those shoulders back and down. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Reaching up nice and tall, interlacing the fingers however you'd like, and exhale over towards the left, trying to keep that right hip and knee stacked in line. So if you kicked your hip out, let's bring it back, really reaching. Excellent. Nice big inhale, lengthen. Exhale, gaze goes up, open up that top arm. Beautiful. Nice bend through the side, through those hip flexors on the side. Let's come on back up. Reach up nice and tall. Maybe a little latte, drinking milk in the morning. Kind of ruins my voice, I guess. All right, tipping over towards the other side. Feel that core. Notice where the hips are. Keep the hips stacked in line with that leg. Keep pressing in to those left toesies. Gaze goes up, rolling that shoulder back. Feel that core. Excellent. Let's come all the way back up. Reach up nice and tall. Let's bring the hands down and onto the hips. Beautiful. Tipping over towards the left. And feel a nice pull on the inner thigh. Maybe through that right hip. Hand contract down the leg if you'd like. Right arm can reach up if you want a little more. Beautiful. Nice big inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, maybe reach down a little farther. Sinking into it. Beautiful. Let's come all the way back up. Placing those hands on the hips. And exhale, over towards the opposite side. So bending towards the right. Nice and long through the head. Make sure those shoulders aren't hunching up. Keep all that length you can. Beautiful. Left arm can reach up if you want a little more. Playing around with that tipping point, maybe you feel like your leg's about to lift and you're about to fall over. Stay nice and strong. Beautiful. Inhale, look up, open up. So good. Let's come on back. Big exhale. Nice and strong. Let's plant that right hand down. Now tipping over. Maybe you're using your block. Maybe a little table or stool, whatever you need. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Reach those left fingers towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, press into that hand, press into that standing knee. Start to float those left toes up. Nice long line. Reach that hand overhead. Beautiful. Find a little more height through that leg. And let's take 5 little crunches. The elbow towards knee. They don't have to touch. Reach it out. Beautiful. Feeling that nice squeeze through the obliques. Here's 3. Right out to 4. And 5. Squeeze it up. Reach, reach, reach. Extend that foot long. Maybe the hand goes up. Keep holding. And let's drop that foot down. Come all the way back up. And let's plant the hands. Bring that knee in. And take your little sway from side to side. Beautiful. Let's bring the knees nice and wide. And sit back. Take a nice little child's pose. You're going to reach those hands forward. Drop the head down. Letting the forehead connect with something feels really good. So another use for your block is right on the forehead. If your head doesn't touch that. Even if you're up super high, this is still a child's pose. You can transition it into a puppy if you want to keep the hips over the knees and melt the heart down. And that feels really good too. You can block out of here. So those are our 2 options today, a little child's pose or a little puppy pose. Connecting in with that breath. Maybe remembering that intention. Letting it feel really good. Beautiful. One more giant inhale breath. Really see if you can breathe into your low back here. And exhale nice and slow. Beautiful. Let's press into those hands, starting to come up. And make our way onto our backs. Find that nice reclined position to finish things up with. Roll on down. Beautiful. Bend the knees, plant the feet. Let's reach our arms out wide like a T. And roll those shoulders back and down. Create some space there. And let's hover the knees. Actually, I'm going to cross the legs. So I'm going to cross the right leg over left leg. Beautiful. Just nice little cross. And then hover the knees over the hips. And drop the legs down towards the left. Beautiful. So coming into a little twisted leg. If that doesn't work, you can just uncross and stack knee over knee. But sometimes adding that little bit in gets a little more into that IT bend, a little more into the hips. Your left hand can come on top of the legs. Try to keep that right shoulder glued in towards your mat. Gaze can go towards the right if you want to feel that rotation through the neck, completing the rotation through the spine. Let's see if you can inhale and lengthen. Exhale, settle in. See if you can soften. Notice, are you holding tension anywhere in this pose? Anything squeezing that doesn't need to be squeezing. Oftentimes those hip flexors, bottom hip will hold tension. If you're not used to leg on your hip, you can add a little motion here, kind of rolling that left hip in towards the ground. Maybe you'll find that sweet spot you need to work with. Beautiful. Let's return that neck to neutral. Even with your eyes closed, gaze is still up towards the ceiling. Let go of that left hand. And swing those legs back up. Uncross. And cross left foot over right. Stacking knees together. Float right leg up. And drop the legs towards the right. Excellent. Gaze can go towards the left. And you can come on top of the legs. Reaching it out. Let it feel good. Connect in with that breath. Take a nice big inhale. And exhale. Soften. Let it go. Take a few more of those at your own pace. Giant breathing, using that exhale to really soften. Beautiful. At the end of that next exhale, take your time to do so. Return the neck to neutral. Release the hands. Then swing those legs back up and uncross them. And hug the knees in towards the chest, or take that closing happy baby, whichever you would prefer. See, look, even here, I can just reach my feet. Feels so much better. Feet go up towards the ceiling for that happy baby. I like to pull into my feet, kick into my hands, and lift my head up off the ground, extending so long through my spine. Beautiful reset on the spine there. And now the little freestyle portion of our class. So if there's another pose or movement your body is craving, you feel like doing before you settle into our Shavasana, then by all means take some time to explore, even if it's not an official yoga pose. Maybe if you just want to play around with a few things, let it feel really good. Suggestions would be a little waterfall, even if you're holding on to legs, or if you want to do supported waterfall, either tucking your hands or a block under your sit bones. That feels really good. Maybe you want a little reclined cobbler, bringing the soles of the feet together, knees falling open. Or maybe you're just ready to settle into that Shavasana, whatever it looks like. Maybe you're just laying down on your back, arms alongside, try to keep your palms up, roll those shoulders back and down, try to keep all that space we created through that heart center. Feel the gravity, maybe even notice gravity pulling down on your hips, on your feet, they drop open, through the shoulders. Let it feel really good. And let's take a nice big inhale. Exhale, side out. One more of those, nice and big. Inhale. And side out. Beautiful. This is where I will leave you to take all the time that you need in your Shavasana, in your final pose. I do encourage you to take some time, slow things down, enjoy the silence, enjoy the peace, even if there's chaos happening around you. I thank you so much for joining me today, or whenever you rewatch. It's always really great to do these. Encourages me to do my own practice, so I might as well share it with you. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I'll try to get back to them. And I hope that you just have a beautiful rest of your day filled with moments of joy. And I pray that you are always blessed. Thank you, and namaste.